What up guys? Today I'm testing a new game, King Arthur Legends Rise by Netmarble. Thanks to them for sponsoring this video. A new contender in the highly competitive Gacha RPG genre, which all of my viewers should be very familiar with. And we get several new games every year. Everybody is always very interested trying the new ones, and this is gonna be my first impressions video and little bit gameplay and tips and that kind of trials and errors and what I feel about this game, having played it only like 10 hours or so. This is not after hundreds of hours of gameplay and some kind of competitive guide. We're new into the game and I'm just experiencing things on first hand. I didn't purposefully want to look up guides, though I did get a little bit tips from people in my discords and comments, because many people were asking if I'm playing this game, and when I replied that I'm actually trying it right now, people gave me lots of tips and I asked a couple of questions and so on, but we'll get into it. Let's go through the basic stuff. So it works like in the general sense what you expect from this genre. This is a dark fantasy themed or medieval European dark fantasy, whatever is the correct term. This is not anime style, but you collect heroes and you try to make like builds. You come up with strategies to beat up different content and mechanics, and there's all kinds of mechanics in this game. Actually, quite many stuff that is not so typical. Like there's all kinds of debuffs and effects, maybe more than usual to be honest. And you grind this game daily. You go through all the content, try to create teams that can clear them as fast as possible. Like ideally as fast as possible with like the lowest effort but the highest speed time and so on. You guys know the drill. The enjoyment comes down to if the game, first of all, how pay to win it is. I think that is gonna gatekeep a lot of people from enjoying it, but the actual mechanics and the combat and how does it feel. Let's actually do not there. Let's do a quick battle just so that you can see how the combat seems. And by the way, right off the bat, there was a couple things that really not surprised me, but there are some things that in other games are kind of annoying that you instantly get to see in the combat. That actually, let's skip the story. We just want to see the actual gameplay mechanics. But you can instantly speed up battles up to 3x speed, and you can also do auto combat right off the bat. But maybe you couldn't do like it in the first battle, but right after a short tutorial you can instantly start using these mechanics. And let me turn them off though. I don't think there is like any limit even how many auto battles you can do. I think that's just gatekept by how much energy you have, which is very nice thing. Many UI things in this game seem very user-friendly and easy. Okay, I may be at the too high-level zone, or is this some kind of combat that I meant to lose? But basically this is how the battles look. You have 3 abilities and you take turns, like in these games generally. There's all kinds of effects that you can steal turn meter and give turn meter to your allies, so it's not like in a set order. The yellow bar is actually the turn meter bar, so it's a little bit more nuanced than just you go in like in set order. And yeah, then you have all kinds of mechanics in different, like in your 3 different skills. And like the way it works in this game, which is not complete standard, is that you have like basic attack and then you have 2 skills, and these skills use energy, or I think it's called vigor, and at the bottom you have like a bar that you can see that it's up to 5 vigor, and your third skill uses 3 vigor, and your second skill uses 1, and your first skill generates it, and you also get 1 every turn. So those mechanics are kind of interesting, that maybe you will do more auto attacks with one of your champions and you build up the resource to use it on other ones. But let's see how smooth this is. So we can put auto battle now on, and we can go all the way up to 3x instantly. Now this is not maybe the most visually impressive. I think that's like a story battle that you're meant to lose. Not the best example. I don't think there was any story battles that you were meant to lose so far, but I kind of knew it from the fact that the enemies were level 60, and that's not really right. Okay. I was meant to show the combat, but I guess we will get a little bit sneak peeks about the plot. I think I'll probably show some like bits of the plot and storyline that I recorded beforehand during the video. Maybe not just this clip, we can cut this off, but obviously the storyline is focused about King Arthur and the Knights of Camelot. Some people are more into the story, some people are not. I'm, into PvP and trying to be competitive and so on. I don't really care that much about the plot, but I do appreciate that they're at least trying to do like world building, and there is plot and story. Not that I was following it too much, but it's, the typical stuff that there's gods or there's some mad ancient god that is trying to stir up some stuff. I think that's what's going on in the plot. And, it's the standard rock, paper, scissors that you have different kinds of elements that characters can be. But one interesting part about King Arthur, I can show it in a second, but you can actually change the weapons on your characters, which changes their element and their damage type. So you can actually choose whatever element the character is if you want to use a specific one. Though I did notice that they have a little bit different abilities. Sometimes they're exactly the same, and sometimes there might be slight differences. So those kind of mechanics usually play the way that even if there is 3 options, but if they are not exactly the same, one is often better than others. Like let's say that the fire type on Bedivere might be the best one. I have no idea. But if it is, everybody is gonna use the fire type, and it might not be as much individual choice in practice as it might sound. But it does make the gameplay more nuanced. It gives you more options to theorycraft and like min-max and manage your roster, which is super interesting. I'm surprised that there is not more elements, but maybe that's something that they will add later on. By the way, another thing that I really appreciate is that we can see the damage multiplier and the effects of every skill. Sometimes in many games, both RPGs or Gacha RPGs and MMOs, sometimes they don't show the damage multipliers or the hit spat numbers and so on. That's kind of confusing. If you want to min-max and be competitive, you have to rely on data miners, and it's kind of hard to test things and come up things by yourself. So this makes it a lot smoother, but this is basically how the UI looks like. You can level up your specific skills, and like I mentioned, the same skills might be slightly different on different elements. Yeah, like this skill, for example, has 14 higher multiplier on fire type than frozen type, and I think it was the same multiplier on wind as well. There was also like day and night time, and that affects your damage like multipliers as well, not just the element. and there was all kinds of different debuffs that kind of seemed very complicated, but I do like the fact that there is different stuff. I don't, have most of the champions yet, so I can't really show it. This character, by the way, Bediver, was my first summon. I got it on my first temple, and people in my Discord were saying that he's right now the best champion in the game, so yay for me. But he's like your standard damage dealer, so he didn't have like complicated debuffs on his abilities or anything like that. There was all kinds of effects that disable passive abilities and do all kinds of stuff. Right off the tutorial, you get to this town where you have all of the buildings and get access to all the things that you can do outside of the storyline. The first thing that I would do is go to the night training camp. The night training camp is like more advanced tutorial zone that introduces you to all kinds of mechanics in the game, different debuffs and so on, that you do in the forms of puzzles, and then you get some shiny rewards for it. Many games do this, but I don't recall other Gacha RPGs doing. You will see these kind of mechanics in games that have lots of puzzles, but I haven't seen it in this genre before. Anyway, I kind of really like that zone. There's not too many missions to do though, but I will definitely do that as the first thing in the early game. But yeah, as far as the end game stuff, arena, PvP, like dungeon records or anything like that, I can't tell you about it. The game is so new, I haven't played it long enough to get there. That's the kind of stuff that I'm really into. But of course, lots of people play these games for just to do the early game progression and the storyline, and then they move on. Not everybody grinds these games for years and tries to compete against other people. So this kind of sums up the early game vibes that you get. If this sounds appealing to you, download the game from the link in description. It's sponsored video. They will be happy if you do it. So if it sounds good, then do it. And yeah, I'll keep playing more and I'll do more videos when I get a bit further. But that's it for this video. Any questions or comments, put them down below if you have any good tips for me or anything like that. But that's it. Have a nice day and see ya.